how Saturday mornings are, especially on the holidays. Be nice to have something really special, something that I could even do at nighttime, and yet be so exciting for breakfast. And that is my overnight French toast. Yes, I said overnight French toast. And we're going to take a loaf of our Italian bread, and we're going to slice it probably about an inch thick. I'm just going to cut off this tail part here, and we're going to slice it close to an inch thick, because you want it nice thick pieces. And what we're going to do with them, you'll see why. There, these are nice and thick. We're going to lay them on a cookie sheet. Right here, we're going to take our cookie sheet. And for this recipe, you don't want to go right to the bakery, buy the bread, come home, and then use it. Won't work. Because the next morning, this will be so soggy tasting. It won't have that nice crisp. You won't like it. So I've learned that the bread does not have to be stale. Just don't buy it the same day and use it the same day. Let it sit overnight on your counter. That's what I did. And you can put them in here just any way to shape. There, we've got every one of them. And the ends are for me to eat afterwards. I like to eat the heel of bread with butter. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 9 pieces. If you were doing it for a big family occasion, you would get at least 2 of those loaves. But for now, we're going to use the 1. And in our large bowl here, we're going to take 6 eggs. 1, 2. And you know what's a good idea, always, is to drop your eggs into a bowl. Just in case I get the shell, we can take it out before it gets into my big bowl. Shells are really hard to get out. If you've ever gotten shells in your eggs and then you didn't see them, and then who's ever eaten them all of a sudden crunches on it, I think that's one of the worst feelings in your mouth, is when you're eating eggs and there is a shell in your mouth. All right, there we go. We've got our 6 eggs, and with the 6 eggs, I don't have my cup measure. I have to get my measuring cup. And we're going to use some honey that I get locally. I love the raw honey. It's so much healthier for you because it's got all the pollen in it. It does crystallize, and that's how you know you've got really healthy honey for you. I like to cook with honey and molasses. I don't use sugar hardly at all. And when I have a recipe that calls for sugar, I always substitute it with some honey and molasses. Because I think when you combine the two together, it has that sugar taste. So we're going to put 1/4 cup of our nice honey, fresh honey, and into the bowl we're going to put, I like to put a lot of cinnamon. Most recipes don't call for as much as I do, but I'm going to put a teaspoon. Because to me, I think the cinnamon has a really nice festive smell, festive taste, especially if you do this at Christmas time. It's always nice to, or at Thanksgiving time when the families are getting together. And then I got some real vanilla. And I usually put about 1/2 teaspoon of that, a little bit more. You're allowed to put more or less to taste. And if you even wanted another flavor, you could put almond. If you like the flavor of almonds, you can add that with the vanilla or in place of the vanilla, whichever you choose. All right, and now our last ingredient is 8 ounces of heavy cream. So we've got our eggs, we've got our heavy cream, we've got our honey, we've got our vanilla, and we've got our cinnamon. And we're just going to take the electric mixer, and I've got my little magic whip on, and we're going to just mix this all together. Like so. You want to just combine all the ingredients. Look at that. Look how nice that's whipping. Kind of reminds me of an eggnog. I'm not an eggnog person, but my husband is. I should make it for him sometime. It's getting close to the holiday season, so you got to be thinking along those lines. So we're not whipping the cream because it's in with the eggs. We're just incorporating all the ingredients together. There we go. That's good enough. All right. Now we'll take a dipper. Okay. And what we're going to do is just put it all over our bread. Just cover all of the bread. We're going to get it drunken bread with eggs and all that nice sweet flavor. And the nice part, oh, there's a little bit of honey there that didn't seem to dissolve, so we're just going to take that out. There we go. That's good. Now, sometimes you can use all of this, sometimes not. It's all right. I think that's it. I'm just making sure that all the edges on top, because this, with the egg flowing down, is going to create that nice crusty bread because we're going to bake it tomorrow morning. And that's the exciting thing about this. You can do this late at night and put it to bed when you go to bed. And then in the morning when you get up, this gets out of the fridge. So we're just going to cut a piece of foil, cover it up, and we're going to say goodnight to our overnight French toast recipe. And we're going to put it in our refrigerator and let it set overnight. And then in the morning, put it in a safe place. And then in the morning, we'll just take it out when we're ready to bake it. We'll put our oven to a 350 degree oven. And then you're going to bake it for about 15 minutes. After we bake it, we'll pull it out of the oven. And of course, we uncover it. I didn't say that. You do want to take the foil off when you bake it. And then for 15 minutes, and then we will melt some butter, maybe a few tablespoons of butter, take a pastry brush, and then we're going to brush the top of them, put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes or however long it takes to get that really nice brown, golden, crispy look. And then you're all ready to serve it with some maple syrup and some bacon, and maybe you'll even make some eggs on the side. It's a really nice, delicious, and easy way to spruce up your Saturday morning breakfast. Yep, it's morning time, the morning of the eve when we had made our overnight French toast. And what I did, I got up, stuck them in the oven for 15 minutes, and this is what they look like after 15 minutes of baking. See how nice and fluffy they are? They have absorbed all of the egg mixture that we made using the heavy cream. And now what I'm doing is I melted about 4 tablespoons. Yeah, 4 cups. I don't think so. It's early yet. I just got up, remember, so you got to bear with me. 4 tablespoons, half a stick of butter. And we're just taking our little brush here and we're just coating we're putting some on the top of each of the pieces of French toast that, remember, had been baking already in my oven on 350 for 15 minutes. I baked them. And so remember, again, this was in the refrigerator all night absorbing the egg. Now you may or may not use all the butter. I just do that much because many times I'll get a larger loaf of bread, and I just happened to come across a smaller loaf this time, but this usually does a larger amount, this half a stick of butter, but I'm just kind of coating them because this is what's going to add to the nice crispiness and the nice taste that we like. Okay, so we're going to pop these right now back in the 350-degree oven for about another 15 minutes. And you know what I like? I have over here, I put out my bacon on my foil on a cookie sheet. I just laid out the bacon. I like the low fat, low sodium bacon. And that takes about 10 to 15 minutes on 350-degree ovens as well. So now we can bake the two of them, and before you know it, we'll have a delicious breakfast. Hello. Look at how nice our French toast looks. And oh, by the way, the bacon I took out just before that, and that was in a total of 15 minutes. And so I don't know if I said on my earlier when I was making it's always a good idea to use Pam, and I did not use Pam. So these, you could see it's not really badly stuck, but you know what, the Pam might help these to come out of the oven earlier. But I got news for you. They're gonna still taste delightful. And I even like to add, as my family will verify, a little bit of butter. Did I brush them with butter? Absolutely. But there's something about adding that little last touch of butter. And don't forget your bacon. I did pat it off with a little bit of paper towel. Look how nicely the bacon comes off. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Sure, why not? Go for it. And then you can put your own favorite maple syrup. I like to use pure maple syrup. However, blue agave is another delicious tasting sweetener that is good, especially if you're diabetic. It goes into the blood slowly so that you're not having a real rush of sugar like you would with maple syrup. So having something like your blue agave syrup is excellent. And you know, by the way, we can't forget our nice cup of coffee, especially if the morning is all about just you and your husband. But if you're having a family gathering, whether it's a holiday or just come on over for Saturday brunch, enjoy this perfectly simple and delicious French toast. And I must take one little, listen to that crisp. Look at that. It's almost like cake texture. Just the right crispiness, spongy, and flavor. Delicious. So I hope you enjoy a good morning to you and your family.